one of the popular days being commemorated worldwide is the World AIDS Day, which occurs every December 1st, 2019. Every December 1st every year. And of course, for 2019, the celebration was held yesterday, being the 1st of December. And so, on the second segment of the program this morning, we want to look at what AIDS Day 2019. The theme is Communities Make the Difference. A lot of people believe that the issue of HIV/AIDS is a myth. They believe it's not real. It's actually something that they shouldn't get worried about. Communities make the difference. What does this mean? This is what we're going to be looking at. And we have Mr. Seun Honifade with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, sir. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Let me start off this way. Looking at the topic for this year, talking about communities making the difference. I know that there are community-based organizations which actually talks about the fight against HIV/AIDS for a very long time, since this pathetic scourge started in Nigeria and of course detected in Nigeria. But if we look at the fight so far, and of course there've been this issue of people living with HIV/AIDS, not saying that this person is an HIV/AIDS victim. If you look at all of the instances and the semantics around HIV/AIDS in terms of people living with it, what progress have we made?
Thank you very much. Let me quickly make a correction. There is no victim of HIV.
You know, that's why I said people living with HIV/AIDS.
Living with HIV.
We're beyond the semantics here. What progress have we made?
Yeah, we've made a lot of progress. I represent the civil society on HIV and AIDS in Nigeria. I'm the state coordinator. The civil society on HIV, CISAN, is a network that have over 125 membership across the nook and crannies of Oyo State Fair, and is a national organization that has close to about 12,000 membership nationwide. We make a lot of progress. Look at where we are coming from. Look at the prevalence rate. Today it has dropped to 1.4. That's the national prevalence rate.
1.4. Where did we pick it up from? What was it about 10 years ago?
Well, you know, some years back we are between 3.1. Then there was a time it was 4.4. In Oyo State we are in 5.1 sometimes. We're in 3.4. But today we're in 0.9. So it's just tell us that a lot of progress has been made.
But what progress has been made in terms of stigmatization here?
Thank you very much. There's a lot of effort that has been, presently we have the anti-stigma law, both at the national level and also at the
state level. Is it implementable? Are companies, for instance, implementing it?
Of course. We've taken some people to court as regards that. We've also settled a lot of matters as regards that. The Ministry of Justice of your state, as at last year, 2 years ago, this year also, they've done a lot of things. We've got the human rights, the Southwest Zone of the National Human Rights Commission. We've also met together at the Oyo State Agency for the Control of AIDS with Oyo Saka here in Oyo State. We have done a lot of progress. We have, and based on that, everybody is sitting tight. The stigma has reduced to some extent.
Let's look at the prevalence rate. When you look at the way the prevalence rate is coming down, does it mean that the people should not get bothered about this particular disease?
No. When you look at the prevalence rate, the survey was conducted last year. Fortunately, I was part of the people who conducted the survey, which NIAID, that's Nigeria AIDS Indicators and Impact Survey, through the University of Maryland. The survey is a survey that was conducted based on household, and during the process, we also have blood draw where people were tested based on age, from the adults, pregnant women, children. So when you look at the result of the prevalence rate, that's to tell us that there is a progress. And how do we want to measure the progress? The measurement of the progress is to tell us that, look, in Nigeria today we have 1.9 million people living with HIV and AIDS.
Out of 200 million?
Yes.
If you look at HIV/AIDS, for instance, it's been blamed on lifestyle. people's kind of lifestyle, especially negative lifestyle. People who have more than one partner, people who just live, drink, take all sorts into themselves, not caring about their health. Talking about even going to a barber shop, for instance, they do not take their own personal barbing kit. Some people will say needles, you need to go with your needles. It's really lifestyle, all about getting infected with HIV, for instance.
I must really appreciate you for talking about this lifestyle. We have multiple sexual partners today, especially among young people about the age of 15 to 49. And this last survey makes us to understand that the prevalence rate is more higher between the age of that 15 to 49. That has to do with lifestyle. And adolescents especially, they want to try new things, they want to adventure, they want to see new things. So when you discuss, and say, the moment there are so many activities that have been conducted, prevention activities, training among this young age. I remember Society for Family Health also did one what we call social to health. We did that training for 18 months in all the 33 local government here in Oyo State. The social to health is we discuss with you about HIV/AIDS, and you still tell us that during this training I want to learn hairdressing, I want to learn what do you call this one, the ladies did to makeup. Okay. Yes. So during the process we also discuss that with these young people, and we discover so much that as you train that age 15, let me say 14 to 24 years, that was our target audience then. As you train that 14 to 24 years, don't forget that other young people who were 12 as at that time or 13 as at that time have moved to that 14 to 15. So somebody who is just 24 years has moved to adulthood also. So it's an age that we continue to train and retrain.
But let's look at the statistics because we're talking about lifestyle. And so talking about this prevalence rate, did you launch an investigation into the prevalence rate among the people in the formal sector and the informal sector?
Thank you very much. Yes. Like I said, the program we did last year was mostly for out of school youths.
Okay.
So, and we have seen so much that even these children, these young adolescents, they will tell us that. I remember even on campuses, they will tell us some things. I don't know. Say they will tell us, can you be taking sweets with the sachet of the sweet together? In Yoruba language, they will tell you that Charlie Mala sweet Katumala rubber money. That is how sex it is to them. That you can't be using condom and see you are enjoying sex without having sex.
That actually brings me to the abstinence.
That is the education among these artisans we are talking about.
And we
have preached so much with these artisans. Bringing them together.
I was going to chip this in before you go ahead, because you talked about the issue of not wanting to use condom, for instance, if they have multiple sex partners. What is the abstinence level of most Nigerian youths, given some of the experiences? You will always preach abstinence, if I'm sure, about to all of these young persons. Is either they abstain or they use condom, as the case may be. But what is the ratio of the abstinence level of most young people in Nigeria?
Well, I can't give you the statistics for now, but I know that the abstinence level is very, very low.
The abstinence level is low.
Very, very low. Very, very low in the sense that, these young people, despite with the information, awareness, education, some of them felt so much that, look, I still need to try this method.
Okay, let's
so it's a serious threat.
Let's look at this. It's a good thing that the prevalence rate is coming down. Now, as the prevalence rate is dropping, does it mean that the causative factors now differ from what it was when the prevalence rate was high? At a point in time, you'll be told that, okay, you need to abstain. Okay, when you're going to the barbing salon, these are things you need to do. Avoid sharp objects and all that. Is there a major, causative factor of this disease now, or those factors still subsist?
Well, those factors still exist.
Okay.
But for those who are informed, many people today have clippers of their own. When they go to salon, they have the needles of their own. For the matured mind,
some still burn their clippers.
Yes. So it is in it depends on the environment these people find themselves. The major challenge we're having is with those local environment. The local environment that have not, someone that is just gaining admission to school, that want to explore whatever level of freedom he or she is having. So these are major challenge we're having. And those the localized area, talking of people in Oje, Bere, and so on and so forth, those people there, these are some other areas that we are also looking at, because the information, they have the information, but making use of the information is a serious challenge.
I want you to also educate us on the fact that if we look at some of these items like needles, sharp objects like blade, clippers, and the rest of it, how long does the virus last on these particular things? Because I had 7 days. I don't know how true. No. And that if you use a spirit, it takes it off. How long does it last?
The truth is that HIV/AIDS cannot survive a minute on any table. It is
table or object.
Any object.
1 minute.
Within 1 minute,
it dies off.
It lives in the blood. It survives in the blood. The moment it's out of the blood, it cannot survive.
It's a good
But
thing.
the truth of the matter is that we need to sterilize the
so
sharp object.
how do you sterilize it?
Sterilizing sharp object means that you have to use jig, bleach, hypo. These are the best way to.
Not even hot water here.
Hot water doesn't. Hot water.
What of burning here?
Burning does not hold it. Burning does not hold it.
Okay.
We are saying sterilize your sharp object.
Okay, before we go.
Jig, bleach, hypo.
Okay, before we go.
Major ways to sterilize.
Before we go, I also want you to talk about how long does the antibodies of HIV shows, because somebody could get infected, go for tests without knowing that he or she is a carrier. How long does the antibodies show?
For the antibody, it depends on the
immune system here.
No, not the immune system.
Okay.
What do you use to pick the antibody system? Most of them are not stored in a good way. Some are, some pharmaceutical company in a dry place. The storage method is a serious factor to it. We have seen some people who go for tests. He or she was told she's negative, and when we conduct the one at the lab, he still pick it up and say it is
so
positive.
It doesn't take time, like 3 months.
It doesn't.
Some people say 3 months before the antibodies shows.
No, the antibody it depends also. Sometimes when you do your HIV test, like me, I do my test virtually every month. We do the test, and you see the antibodies is very simple. The issue is that for people who have just done the test and is still negative, we have the person to go for test again after 3 months or 2 months.
We must say big thank you to you, Mr. Shimoni-Fade.
We will bring you back.
Time is not on our side.
Wow.
Though we have many questions for you, but this is how far we can go. Thank you so much. Mr. Shimoni-Fade is the state chairman, CSHAN, Civil Society on HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. He is the Oyo State chairman. This is how far we can go. I am Anulu Akpomoride. We need to hand over to our Lagos studios.
And I'm Gola Famous School, wishing you